Today, I'm going to talk about the challenges faced by startups. The fierce competition. The corporate world is quite fierce. Nobody will give you an inch. This is always a competition going on between the giants. And competition poses one of the biggest challenges for the survival of the startup business. Now, when the giants are one against others, then where is the scope of the startups to grow? And if you have an online business startup, the competition gets tougher. The competitive environment keeps the startups on their toes, and there is no margin of errors. Both B2B and B2C organizations always tend to feel the heat of the fierce competition. In order to survive in this competitive business environment that covers both traditional and online businesses, the startups need to play very, very aggressively. If you have a fear about the giants, then you should not be a startup entrepreneur. Unrealistic expectations. Success doesn't come alone. It brings expectations with it. Most of the time, the expectations seem realistic, but in the real sense of word, it's merely unrealistic. This same concept holds true for young startups. Success tends to face challenges when they set unrealistic expectations. Following a booming success, remember, the success is short-lived and expectation is a never-end process. This is where the startups need to translate the real expectations. So what are the real expectations are? They must find in themselves. Sustainability is the name of the game, and the sustainability requires the consistent effort. In order to succeed in a competitive business world, startups need to have high but controlled expectation. Expectations are good, but it has to be positive. Keeping view of your resources available, the extent of the growth potential, and other market factors as well. So all three combined your real expectations. Hiring suitable candidate. You know that after 34 years, I realize one thing. There is nothing called the best team. You have to have a right team. And that right team can be turned into a best team. One of the most important factors that define organizational culture within a startup company is the synergy of the team. A team comprises of individuals with similar capabilities and identical focus. In order to develop a highly successful team culture, organization in general, the startups in particular, need to have the right team. As I said, there is nothing called the best team in the world. There is a huge pool of aspiring individuals available. Selecting a suitable candidate that fits the job well enough is a monumental task. You know, in a risk management, we often say the biggest risk is the human being, nothing else. Yes, fund is important. But ultimately, who controls the fund? It is the individual. It is one of the biggest challenges facing the startup business in the digital age. When hiring the right candidate, organization must remember one golden rule: birds of the same feather flocks together. Partnering decision making. Partnership is the essence of success. Now, when we talk about the partnership, it's not a partnership firm. And this logic holds true for startup as well. In this ever-expanding, ever-changing digital era, where organization needs to battle hard for their survival, startup also find it difficult to find trustworthy people. It's really a big challenge for startup today. And as far as the tech startups are concerned, stakes are in partnership is much higher for them. Going into a partnership pays a great dividend for the startups. But they need to consider the variety of factors before making any decision to collaborate with another company working in the same ecosystem to reap out the maximum benefit out of a partnership. Startup business should look for organization that enjoys a sound presence within the market and a good reputation among the industry giant. You know that I read somewhere else that the Forbes 500 Fortune companies, in 10 years from now, at least 45% of these giants may not be into that figure unless they shake hands with the startup organizations. When you look at the industry history, there are many big giant companies is no longer relevant even today. Next is financial management. Money begets money. Remember the fact that when income increases, expenditure also increases. One of the biggest challenges that startups face today related to financial management. Now, if you are not a financial wizard, you have to hire someone who understands this financial management system, which is very, very important. It is a fact that small startups really rely heavily on financial backups from investors. At times, when there is a cash influx, small firms, most importantly startups, tend to find it really hard to properly manage their finance, and they bog down against the pressure. Always remember, I said it earlier, when you borrow money, think it as a bonus. It is not your money. It is someone else's money. You have to return it. In order to address this kind of situation, startups need to play safe and cautious by keeping all the cards close to their chest. Taking help from reputed financial consultancy firm may be the best idea. But the problem is that startup entrepreneurs always tend to think that they know best of everything. Next is very, very important, cyber security. We are living in a digital age. And surviving the challenges in this age requires a super agile to counter that so-called online security threats. Hackers are everywhere, and they are going to take advantage of any loopholes within the system. The rate of cyber crimes have increased dramatically during the past couple of years. The percentage is going to increase in the coming years as well. Startups that are active online do face online security threats. We all are at a risk. In order to safeguard that all important online data, startups has to have a robust and the military-grade security system in place. A virtual private network, which we called the VPN. Connection serves the purpose of the protecting the startup's information and employee record by offering the much needed encryption and the data security to the startup's employees, thereby restricting unauthorized access to organizational data over the web. Finally, and the most importantly, winning trust of customers. Customers is the key. Although the Virgin Airlines thinks differently, I do agree with them. When the customer is the king, then your employees are the samrats. If you don't keep your employees happy, the customer will never be happy. And that's absolutely right. Winning a customer trust is one of the most important challenges the business in general and startups in particular. With a highly satisfied and the loyal customer base, startup can scale up and make progress towards excellence. Customers are the real force behind the startup success. May not be for the giants. Their word of mouth power and their presence on the social media can give tech startups the edge, an edge against all the traditional businesses. Now, so to win customers' trust and loyalty, startups need to work aggressively to implement a customer-centric working philosophy so as to enable them to succeed in their pursuit of attaining the highly and the height sustainable growth and progress they desire to achieve in this tech-savvy and the challenging business world. Again, let me go back to the basics of everything. Now, when you are talking about the winning a customer, who is going to win? Who is going to face a customer? Employee, your partners. Now, if your partners are not happy with you, do you think that will be able to satisfy a customer? Think again. In relation to it, if you have any question, put up this question to my wall. I'll be glad to answer any questions, because you know that we have already crossed a certain bridges. What we learn from our failure. A lot of failures. But all these failures are the stepping stone for us. Therefore, today's startup generation can learn from the experienced people. It is a never-ending process, like a business process. Thank you.